Hey guys, it's Drax, back with another test server update, and this one turned out to be pretty interesting. Sadly, we don't have any official notes for these changes again, but we do have the unofficial ones thanks to Shaco on Reddit, so here are some of the changes. Starting with continent and facility benefit descriptions, they have been worded differently so we can understand them better. Moving on to amorous changes, the black texture bug you may have saw in my previous test server vid has now been fixed. There is an addition of a spawn tube and pipes inside Iconam, and the vehicle capture points have been changed visually, giving them a distinct look. Here we tested the changes to the implants, which by the way was the first thing that hit my screen when I logged in. Some new ones have been added, along with changes to some that we have looked at before. So starting with infravision, this is a new exceptional implant which gives you constant heat vision at a range up to 125 meters. It stops working when you are inside a vehicle and max suits can equip it. The Nanomesh Specialist 5 description has been changed from no longer Hossin energy regeneration to drains 30% slower while stationary. The previous resist shield bug we saw before is now fixed and working with Nanomesh Specialist, but a new one seems to have developed when you don't have this implant equipped. This is where the resist shield is infinite in energy, and that could possibly be because it's only working visually. Moving on to the ocular shield, and this is now usable with a changed description, which means at top tier you use a medkit to prevent being affected by EMP and concussion grenades. ComHacker, the infiltrator specific implant which was heavily criticised as being useless, has been changed to deep operative. At top tier your cloak will be 30% less visible, and upon being spotted a scan of the minimap will occur, showing up all enemies within 20 meters. Now it's not clear if this is just for you or for your friendlies as well. Next, the sensor shield is back from the dead, and with an added benefit at tier 5 technically giving you a code suit, meaning at the top tier thermals won't see you. This was actually my recommendation after they nerfed the thermals on vehicles, so selected players who didn't like being killed by air etc. could run this. Well, now it's coming to the game, but I'm not sure how useful it could actually be, other than shielding players from others using the IRMV scopes, or from players who actually have the very rare infravision equipped. Now we couldn't test out detection with this implant as the radar on the test server seems to be broke as it isn't detecting enemies at all currently. This is true both with the deployable recon device and the darts. All implants have had their values changed, and from what I understand these are the values you get when you break down duplicate implants, not the amount to upgrade. You can however only break down tier 1, 2 and 6 implants, so the only value we are really affected by in this case are the tier 2s in which we gain an extra 10 ISO than we did before. There's also something about a loyalty implant pack on the unofficial notes. I can't see this in game, so I'm not sure what this is currently or whether it will actually materialize into anything, but if I had to guess it's probably something that feels a bit more rewarding to players. Maybe it will be an actual reward or just a better priced implant box. On to other changes, the flak and nanoweave armor have had their descriptions made more accurate. They've added a model for an NS pistol called the NS45 Hangman, which you can see here, but it cannot be tested in game yet. Hopefully it gets a more distinct look before we get to use it on live. This looks to be just a standard NS weapon and not part of the export series. So here's Hossin's sky, and it's definitely looking clearer and brighter, hopefully bringing more players to the continent in future. Further changes have been applied to screen effects for the EMP concussion and thermals etc, and it also seems the visual effects for the Max's emergency repairability have been improved a bit more. So there was also a bit of speculation on a possible fix to the cloaking bug as the cloaking ability data was changed, so hopefully that is the case as that bug is fairly annoying. I never had the bug present itself on the test server though, so it's hard to say whether it is actually fixed or not. Now this was all I had for this update until I went back onto test this morning and saw the prototype alert start up again, so thought I would have a quick check around for a spawn crate. Well, one just happened to drop out of the sky in front of me and settle itself on one of the landing pads at Tarwich Tower. Now I was really excited to see this as a lot of people have been asking for prototype footage. Well, here it is. First impressions, based on looks, it's a Vanguard body including the Xeen symbol on the back, but has a large turret and cannon. When using the vehicle it felt more like a tank destroyer than a tank. This mainly is because its turret is set in position, only moving vertically, so you have to turn the whole tank to face your target. Maybe it could be used as some kind of artillery in the future with its high angle of fire, large round and high gravity drop, but would need some form of bird's eye targeting to make it useful. I must say that the sound that this cannon makes when fired is fantastic. Like firing the Doton but with more power, as I think the rounds are larger, hence why they travel slower at 250 velocity. I did conduct a few tests, some of which included the help of a player named Fishfinder that I met. The first was based on HP. Initially, because the box landed on a landing pad, I had to drive the tank off of it to get anywhere. This took a big chunk of health from it, but it didn't kill it. Later on I hit it with tank mines, of which it could take 4 before dying. When repairing the damage, this took a long time, so I estimate its health to be nearly double that of a Vanguard. The cannon, which does 1000 damage and 500 splash damage, one shot killed me when I had flak armor equipped, and took half the shield down just based on the splash damage. A heavy with flak and an activated overshield, however, would survive with 80% of his health remaining. Against a Mag Rider, one shot to the rear done around 40% damage, while standard armor shots do 20%, and a stock Sunderer took 4 shots to kill, so it isn't too OP when it comes to facing other armor, with its main strong point being its health. Its reload time is also a factor in this area, taking 4.75 seconds, which is longer than other MBT tank cannons. So that's all the testing I've done for the prototype tank at this time, but I will of course be carrying out more tests in the future. A good point to mention here is that the new alerts, which many people believe were just a glorified pumpkin hunt, are actually a fight between these prototype tanks, with a winning faction being the one who destroyed the most of them. This should be quite interesting when it gets implemented and a refreshing change from the alerts we have currently, so I look forward to seeing these tanks in game. But that's it for this update. Hopefully it's been helpful and informative. Please like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe for future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.